She wasn't for sale, but she had no choice. The sky was red on the planet Viren. Smoke covered the sun. Buildings were broken. People were gone. The war had ended, but not in her favor. She walked slowly through the dust. Her clothes were torn. Her eyes were tired, but she held something in her arms, a small box. Inside it, a picture, a man and a child. Her family, her past. Her name was Arya. She was not a soldier. She was a mother. Her husband died 6 months ago in the war. Now her child, only 5 years old, was very sick. The medicine was gone. The doctors were gone. Only the black market remained, and it needed credits. She had none. She stood outside the Galactic market, a large metal building with guards, lights, and tall signs in many languages. This place was known for only one thing: selling lives. Slaves. Arya had never imagined coming here, but today, she had no choice. Inside the market, people from different planets were shouting. Strong worker. Only 200 credits. War-trained soldier. Half price today. Dancer from Dura. Rare species. Arya walked in, eyes low. She went to the counter. The man behind the counter was human. He looked at her and laughed. "You're not for sale," he said. "Too thin. Too weak." "I don't care," Arya said quietly. "Put me on the list. I will sell myself." The man raised an eyebrow. "You understand what this means?" She nodded. "I need the money." "For what?" She didn't answer. He looked at her one more time, then gave her a collar, a tracking device. "No refund. No return. You are product now." She took the collar and walked to the slave cage. She sat in a corner, silent. Far away, on Earth, a man named Darren was watching the market feed. He used to be a soldier. Now he traveled the stars doing small jobs. He didn't trust the slave market. But sometimes, he looked. Not to buy, just to see what kind of world this had become. Then he saw her, a thin woman with soft eyes, not scared, just tired. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just waited. Something about her was different. He clicked the info tag. Name: Arya. Race: Virenian. Skills: unknown. Price: 150 credits. She was cheap. Too cheap. This was not normal. Darren frowned. Then, without thinking too much, he clicked buy now. Back at the market, Arya heard her name. Product 473 sold. Pick up at Bay 12. Her heart beat fast. It was happening. She was now a slave. She stood up. Her legs were weak, but she walked with control. She entered Bay 12. A man stood there. Human. Tall. Quiet. "You bought me?" she asked. He nodded. "Yes." "Why?" "You looked like someone who needed help." Arya frowned. "I am a slave now." "No," he said. "You are not." He opened the collar and dropped it on the floor. "Come with me." They walked to his ship. It was small, old, but clean. He gave her food. Real food, warm. She stared at it. This is for me." "Yes, eat." She ate slowly. Her hands were shaking. "Where do you want to go?" he asked. "I have to stay here for one night," she said. "I have something I need to check." "Is someone waiting for you?" She didn't answer. She looked away. "Do you have family?" he asked gently. She looked down, her lips pressed tight. "I had a husband," she whispered. "He is gone now." "And now?" he asked. She stood up. "I have to go. Please, I will come back." He looked into her eyes. They were full of something. Not fear, but purpose. He gave her a small device. "Press this if you need help." She nodded and ran into the night. Arya walked fast through the dark alleys of the city. She passed beggars, broken bots, and sick traders. She stopped at a metal door, knocked 5 times. It opened. A little face peeked out. "Mama." She smiled and dropped to her knees. "I'm here, baby, I'm here." She hugged her son tightly. He coughed. His skin was pale. His breathing slow. She opened a small pouch and took out the food Darren gave her. She gave it to her son. "Eat, little star." Mama found a way. The stars outside the ship blinked like quiet eyes. Arya sat in a soft chair, holding a warm drink. Her hands didn't shake this time. She had eaten. Her son had eaten. They were safe. But her heart was not calm. She watched the man Darren work on a broken panel in the wall. He didn't talk much. He didn't touch her. He didn't even look at her for too long. He was not like the stories she heard about human slave buyers. He was different. Still, the question burned inside her. "Why did you buy me?" He paused, turned slowly. "You want the truth?" She nodded. "I didn't plan to buy anyone," he said. But when I saw you sitting there, you didn't look like a slave. You looked like someone pretending to be one. Her fingers tightened around the cup. You were right, she whispered. I knew it, he replied. She stared at him. Then why still buy me? He shrugged. Because I thought. Maybe you didn't want to be saved. But someone near you did. There was silence for a long time. The engine hummed. The stars moved past the windows. Arya stood up. I have to go again, she said. Darren looked at her, calm but firm. You said that last night. I have a reason. I believe you. But I want to know. Are you in danger? She shook her head. No, but someone else. Izzy looked down at the panel, then stood and walked to a shelf. He pulled out a small cube. This is a med scanner. You don't need to tell me who it's for, but take it. Her eyes widened. You don't even know me. No, he said, but I've seen war, and I've seen what it does to mothers. Arya took the cube with both hands, gently, like it was made of light. Thank you, she said. She left the ship again. Darren waited, sitting alone. He didn't sleep. Something was strange. He didn't feel like her owner. He felt like her protector. And maybe something more. Arya walked quickly through the alley again. The city lights flickered. She reached the metal door, knocked 5 times. Her son opened the door. Mama, I'm here, she smiled. The child coughed again. She scanned him with the cube. Red lights blinked. The result was bad infection. Growing time was short. But now, she had a way out. Tomorrow, she whispered, we go somewhere safe. The next morning, Darren watched her walk onto the ship, this time with a small figure in her arms. A child, thin, pale, scared. Darren stepped back. You didn't tell me, he said softly. I couldn't, she said. I didn't know if I could trust you. Now you do. She nodded. The child hid behind her. Darren knelt and smiled. What's his name? Arya blinked. Cyril. He reached out his hand. Hi, Cyril. The child stared for a moment, then slowly touched Darren's fingers. Hours passed. The ship left orbit and moved toward the edge of the system. Darren set the ship to autopilot and brought food to them. Cyril ate quietly. Arya watched him like a hawk, checking every breath. Then, out of nowhere, Cyril looked at Darren. Are you my papa now? Arya gasped. Cyril. But Darren didn't laugh. He didn't smile. He just nodded once. Only if you want me to be, he said. Cyril gave a small smile and continued eating. Arya wiped her eyes. That night, Darren sat alone in the cockpit. He looked at the stars again, but they felt different now. He thought of the boy's words. Papa. Something inside him hurt, but not in a bad way. It felt like an old wound was healing. On the other side of the ship, Arya sang a soft lullaby to her son. He was finally sleeping. She watched him, then walked quietly to the cockpit. Darren looked at her. He's asleep, she nodded. He likes you. I like him too. She stood beside him, quiet. I never wanted this, she said. I was a teacher, once. Before the war. You still teach, he said. You're teaching him how to survive. She smiled faintly. Then she asked again, but softer this time. Why did you buy me? Darren turned to her. Because no one else did. Far behind them, the slave market's cameras showed an empty cage. Somewhere else, a bounty was being issued. Violent slave escaped with child. Last seen with a human. 5,000 credits reward. The ship flew quietly through deep space. Stars passed like soft raindrops on black glass. Inside, everything was calm. Too calm. But Darren couldn't sleep. Something was bothering him. Arya was kind. Cyril was sweet. But something didn't feel right. Every night, Arya left the room. She thought he didn't notice. But he did. Every time she walked like a shadow, quiet, careful. She always returned before morning. She never explained. Tonight, Darren decided to follow her. The door opened with a soft hiss. Arya stepped into the cold hallway. She looked left, then right. No one. She walked past the engine room, into the lower cargo bay. She tapped a small panel. A hidden door slid open. Darren watched from the shadows, heart beating fast. What was she hiding? He waited until she disappeared inside. Then he followed. Behind the wall, a small, secret room glowed faint blue. It smelled like medicine and heat. Arya sat beside something. No, someone. A girl. Another child. Her eyes were closed. She was lying inside a pod, breathing, but weak. Arya placed a wet cloth on her forehead and whispered, Stay strong, little one. Mama is here. Darren's breath caught in his throat. A second child. He stepped forward. Arya spun around, shocked. You followed me. I had to, he said. You were hiding something. She stood slowly, eyes full of fear. Please, don't send us back. Who is she? My daughter, Arya whispered. Her name is Lyra. You never said I couldn't. She cried. The market knew I had 2 children. They would have taken her. She was too sick to move. I had to hide her. I placed her in an old cold pod. In the tunnels. I came back each night to check on her. Darren looked at the girl. Her skin was pale blue. Her chest moved slowly. She doesn't have much time, he said. I know. Why didn't you tell me? Arya's eyes filled with tears. Because I've lost everything once. I didn't want to risk losing her too. Darren stood in silence. Then, without a word, he stepped to the pod, lifted one side, and said, let's take her to the medbay. Arya stared at him. You're helping, of course, he said. She's your child. And now she's under my care too. The medbay lights glowed brighter as Darren placed the pod on the bed. Arya connected the scanner. Lyra's vitals were weak, heart rate slow, fever rising. She needs a real doctor, Arya whispered, not machines. I know a place, Darren said. Where? Old Earth Base. Outpost 9. It's not legal, but they still have human-alien programs. Will they help her? They'll try, he said. But we're fugitives now. Yes, he nodded. But we don't have a choice. Cyril woke up that morning and saw Lyra sleeping in the medbay. He ran to her and held her small hand. Mama, will she be okay? Arya touched his hair gently. We will make her okay. Cyril looked at Darren. You'll help us, Papa. Darren paused, then said, always. They changed course. The ship turned toward Earth's old border. Behind them, trouble was already growing. At a bounty station near the edge of the galaxy, a screen beeped. A guard read the report. Alien woman escaped slave sale with 2 children. 1 human involved, armed, dangerous, high reward. A bounty hunter leaned forward. Did you say to kids? Yes. The hunter smiled. Easy money. He powered up his ship. Back on Darren's ship. Time was running out. Lyra's fever climbed. The medicine worked slowly. The ship was too small to go faster. In the cockpit, Arya stood next to Darren. She looked tired, but strong. Why do you keep helping us? She asked. Darren didn't answer right away. I lost someone once, he said. A little girl. During the war. I couldn't save her. He looked at her. But I can save yours. Arya reached out and held his hand. Thank you. For everything. No need to thank me, he said. We're family now. But just as peace returned for a moment, the alarm screamed. Warning, ship detected. Unknown ID, fast approach. Darren jumped into the pilot's seat. Hold on. Through the window, a dark ship appeared. Sharp edges, blood-red lights. Bounty hunter, Darren said. They found us. Cyril held his mother tight. Arya stood in front of both her children. Darren looked at them and said, no one's taking you. Not while I'm alive. The bounty hunter's ship roared behind them. Black metal. Red engines. Fast like fire in space. Darren's hands flew across the controls. They're locking on, he said. Shields up. Hold tight. The ship shook as a laser shot burned. Past the window, the light flashed white, then vanished into the stars. Arya grabbed Cyril and held him close. Her other arm protected Lyra's pod. Is there a way out? She asked. Only one, Darren said. Asteroid field, 5 minutes ahead. We hide there. Can we make it? He smiled. Just a little. I never lose a chase. The bounty hunter followed, sharp and silent. He didn't speak. He didn't warn. He only hunted. Inside his cockpit, he scanned the fleeing ship. 3 alien life forms, 1 human. High reward. He pressed a button. Target engine. No escape. Darren. Ship entered the asteroid field. Massive rocks floated in all directions. Gray, cold, deadly. The ship twisted through tight gaps. Darren dodged left, right, up, down. Each second felt like forever. Behind them, another blast. Rear shields 40%, said the ship's system. We're not fast enough. Arya shouted. I don't need fast, Darren said. I need smart. He flew under a spinning rock, flipped the ship, and cut power. Everything went dark. Why did you shut it down? Arya asked. They can't scan what doesn't move. Darren whispered. Inside the dark ship. They waited. The children were quiet. Even Cyril didn't speak. He only held Lyra's small hand. The silence was deep, broken only by the distant sound of the hunter's ship. Searching then. Nothing. No shots. No engines. Just silence. Arya whispered. Did it work? Before Darren could answer, boom. A loud hit shook the ship. They found us, he said. Hang on. Lights came. Back on. Engines fired. Darren pushed the ship forward, flying between two giant spinning rocks. The enemy ship followed, but slower. Darren smiled. Big ship. Can't fly like me. But then, locked on. A red warning flashed. Missile incoming. The system said. Darren shouted. Hold on to something. He flew toward the biggest asteroid. Just before hitting it, he dove under a crack in the surface. The missile followed. Darren shot out the other side, but the missile hit the asteroid behind them. Boom. Rocks exploded in all directions. One hit, the bounty ship. It spun, lost control, and vanished into the dark. Darren breathed hard. Arya stared. Did we win? For now, he said. But more will come. Later, when the danger passed, the ship flew in silence again. Darren checked systems. Damage was light. Fuel low. Time even lower. In the medbay, Lyra still slept inside her pod. Her condition wasn't better. Cyril sat next to her, singing a soft song from their planet. Arya stood in the hallway, staring out at the stars. Darren walked up beside her. First time flying through a battle, he asked. She laughed quietly. First time. Hiding inside a rock. You did great. You saved us again. He looked at her. We're not done yet. Arya turned to him. Why do you keep risking your life for us? Darren didn't speak for a moment. Then he said, because I couldn't save the people I loved before, but I can save you now. Arya's voice broke. You don't even know us. I don't have to, he said. You're a mother. You didn't ask to be a hero, but you became one. That's enough for me. She looked down, then gently placed her hand on his. You don't owe us anything, she whispered. I know, he said, but I want to help. That's different. That night, while Cyril slept beside his sister, Arya sat with Darren in the cockpit. They shared a warm drink and talked in quiet voices. She told him about her home, green skies, water trees, soft rain that smelled like music. He told her about Earth, real rain, hard jobs, old war stories, and long quiet nights with no one to talk to. They both laughed, and they both listened. Then silence. Arya looked at him. Do you think we'll make it to the doctor? We have to, Darren said. And after that, he looked at her, one day at a time. But even as peace returned for a few hours, a signal flashed on the hunter's broken ship, dark and floating in deep space. Message sent, target location, tracking continuous. The stars grew brighter as Darren's ship left the asteroid field behind. In front of them, far in the distance, Earth glowed like a soft blue pearl. But it was not a welcome light. It was a warning. Earth doesn't allow aliens without approval, Darren said. And you're kind. They're still on the banned list. Arya held her daughter's weak hand and whispered, but she won't make it without help. Darren nodded. He knew it was true. Lyra's condition was getting worse. Her breathing was shallow, her skin colder. She needs a real doctor, Arya said. I know where to go, Darren replied, but it's dangerous for all of us. Arya looked up. Her eyes were steady. Do it. They flew toward Earth's shadow side, the hidden orbit, where old military outposts floated. Forgotten by most. One of them, Outpost 9, was still active, but secret. Darren had used it once during the war. He knew a doctor there, a man who owed him a favor. But getting in wasn't the hard part. Getting out would be. The ship approached the outpost. Silent. Darren sent a private code. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a light flashed green. A hidden hangar opened. They were in. Dr. Rowan stood in the cold room, arms crossed. He was older now, his face lined with time and loss. You've brought trouble, Darren, he said. I've brought a child who's dying. Rowan looked at Arya, then at Lyra in the pod. He scanned her quickly. She has viren fever. Rare, deadly, and not treatable with Earth meds. So can you help her? Arya asked. Rowan nodded slowly. Maybe. I need time. And your trust. You have both, she said. Hours passed. In the outpost's medical room, machines beeped, lights blinked, and hope grew thin. Arya sat beside Lyra, whispering songs in her language. Cyril slept beside her. Darren paced outside the room, nervous. He looked out the small window. Earth filled the sky, beautiful, blue, full of rules. If Earth's security found them here, they would arrest him. He would lose everything. Later, Rowan came out of the medroom. His gloves were red. His eyes were tired. She's alive, he said. But she needs rest. Days, maybe more. Arya closed her eyes. Thank you. Rowan looked at Darren. You're risking prison for them. I know why. Darren looked through the glass at the woman holding her child. At the little boy who now smiled when he saw him. Because they're my family now. But peace didn't last. Far above Earth. A signal lit up in a space station. Unauthorized ship docked at Outpost 9. Human ID Darren Cade. Alien presence detected. In a bright white room on Earth. A group of officers watched the alert. Illegal. Alien contact, one said. Possible smuggling, another added. The commander stepped forward. Send a team. Bring them in. Back in the outpost, Sorel ran to Darren and hugged him. Papa, is my sister better now? Darren picked him up. She's getting stronger. Will we go to Earth next? Darren didn't answer. Arya stood beside him. We can't stay here long, can we? No, he said. Earth knows we're here. I broke the rules. I broke a lot of rules. She placed her hand on his arm. Why would you do that? He looked at her, really looked. Because some things are more important than rules. She smiled. Not a big smile. A soft one. Full of thanks, full of something more. Suddenly, alarms rang. Warning. Ships incoming. Earth security enforcers approaching. Darren ran to the cockpit. They found us. Rowan looked angry. I gave you safety, not a war. I didn't ask for this, Darren said. But I won't let them take her. Arya looked at Lyra, then at Sorel, then at Darren. We'll run, she said. We always run. Darren shook his head. No, not this time. He stepped forward. I'll go out first. Tell them I acted alone. Maybe they'll let you go. Arya's voice shook. You'll be arrested. I've been in worse places. You don't have to do this. I do, he said. He looked at Sorel. Take care of your sister. Then he looked at Arya. And take care of them. Like I tried to. He stepped toward the door. But Arya grabbed his hand. Her eyes full of pain. Of love. Of fear. Please don't leave us. She said. I have to, he whispered. It's the only way you stay free. Outside the hangar, Earth ships landed. Lights flashed. Soldiers pointed their guns. Darren stepped out. Hands raised. I'm the one you want, he said. They're just refugees. Inside, Arya held her children. Lyra's breathing was calm now. Cyril whispered, will Papa come back? Arya didn't answer. She looked out the window, at the man walking away. For them, Arya stood at the window, heart pounding, eyes locked on the figure outside. Darren, walking with his hands raised, surrounded by armed Earth soldiers. They pushed him to the ground, cuffed him, scanned him, treated him like a criminal. But he wasn't. He was the only one who ever chose to help her, without asking anything back. And now, he was giving up everything. For her children. Her breath shook. No, she whispered. Not again. Inside the outpost. Dr. Rowan sealed the medroom. You have to leave, he told Arya. Now, before they find you. Cyril clung to her. Where's Papa going? He's protecting us, she said. But her voice broke. He always protects us. Lyra was still resting, her fever lower, but she was far from healed. Arya looked down at her children, then back at the metal door. She wasn't weak anymore. She had run. For too long now, it was time to stand. Outside, the Earth commander spoke into a device. Subject detained. Charges aiding illegal aliens, hiding fugitives, unauthorized landing, preparing transport to lunar prison. Darren didn't fight, didn't speak, but in his heart he wondered, would they be safe? Then a voice rang out, let him go. Everyone turned. Arya stood at the top of the platform. Wind moved through her dark cloak. Her arms held Cyril. Her voice was clear. He did nothing wrong. I did. The commander narrowed his eyes. Who are you? I am Arya of Viren, mother of 2, refugee, and not a slave. One soldier raised a scanner. She matches the bounty. Another soldier aimed his gun. Stand down. But she didn't single quotes. She stepped forward, slowly, carefully. Sorel, still in her arms. He saved us, she said, not for money, not for power, but because we were dying. He gave us food, a ship, hope. The commander scoffed. He broke Earth's law. And Earth law leaves children to die, she asked. Then maybe the law is broken. Silence. Her words echoed across the landing zone. More soldiers came. Some aimed, some lowered their weapons. Cameras on drones floated nearby, broadcasting everything live to Earth's net. People were watching now. Arya's voice rose again. He bought me, yes, but not to own me. He freed me. He let me be a mother again. Sorel looked at the crowd. He's my papa, he said softly. One of the soldiers flinched. You hear that? Arya said. That's a child who knows love, not fear. In homes across Earth, screens lit up. People saw her face, her fire, her truth, a woman not begging, but standing tall. #alien mom trended in seconds. The public watched, and hearts began to shift. Back at the outpost, the commander lowered his scanner. Even if we believe you, he still violated multiple codes. Arya stepped forward. Then take me instead. What? I'll go to your prison. But let him go. Let my children stay free. Darren's eyes widened. No, quiet, she snapped. You gave us everything. Now I give something back. One of the younger soldiers spoke up. Sir, with respect, Earth is watching. Orders or not, we can't arrest her now. Not with this evidence. Not with the public listening. The commander looked around. Drones buzzed. Cameras blinked. He sighed. Fine. Take the cuffs off the man. Darren stood, shocked. Arya ran to him, arms wide. He caught her. Cyril hugged. Both are we free? She asked, trembling. The commander gave one final look. For now, he said. But Earth will decide the rest. Back inside, Lyra opened her eyes. She looked up at her mother, her brother, and Darren. Her voice was weak, but clear. We're together. Yes, Arya whispered. And we're staying that way. Days passed. Earth leaders debated. Millions watched the story of the alien mother and the man who saved her. Protests began. Support grew. Some still called them criminals, but many called them something new. Family. A week later, an official message came. Earth grants Arya and her children protected refugee status. Darren Cade's record cleared. No charges. Case closed. They stayed on a small Earth station near Mars. Not rich, not perfect, but safe. Cyril started school. Lyra got stronger. Darren found work as a ship mechanic. And Arya, she stood on her own. No chains, no cages, no fear, just strength. One night, she sat beside Darren. The stars glowed outside their window. You could have left us, she said. I never wanted to. You almost lost everything. He looked at her. But I found something better. She touched his hand. What? He smiled. You. The stars above Mars station were quiet. No war, no running, just peace. Arya stood by the window of their small home, holding a cup of warm tea. Below her, Earth humans and aliens walked side by side. Not always friendly, but not always afraid. It was a new world. Still changing. But for her, it was enough. Behind her, soft footsteps came. Cyril ran in, holding a paper from school. Mama, look what I drew. She bent down to see. A picture made with simple lines. Her, Cyril, Lyra, and Darren, all holding hands. At the top, written in shaky human letters, my family. Arya smiled, her heart full. She kissed his forehead. It's beautiful. Later that day, she walked to the medical center where Darren worked. He stood in front of a broken scanner, his hands greasy. He turned when he saw her. Hey, he said. Is everything okay? Better than okay, she said. She showed him the drawing. He looked at it. Long, quiet. She sees me as family, he whispered. She's not the only one, Arya said softly. They stood there a moment, no words, just feeling. That evening, they sat outside on the deck of the station. Lyra curled up in a warm blanket, stronger now. Cyril played with a toy ship, zooming it through the air. Darren handed Arya a small box. What's this? She asked. He shrugged. Something I've been thinking about. She opened it. Inside a pendant. Small, simple. Two shapes, a human hand and an alien hand, holding each other. Arya touched it gently. I had this made, he said. One of a kind. She looked at him, eyes soft. Are you asking me something? I'm not asking you to marry me, he said with a smile. Not yet. Just asking. If you'll stay. I wasn't planning to leave. Good, he said. Because you're not just the man who saved me. He looked confused. You're the man who gave my children a future. A few weeks later, an invitation came. Earth Court requested them for a final hearing. Not for punishment, but to decide their status. Would they be allowed to stay? Forever. The media waited outside the building. Cameras. Journalists. Soldiers. Inside. Arya stood before a panel of human judges. Darren stood beside her. Cyril and Lyra sat quietly, holding hands. A judge spoke. You were once sold as a product, brought here illegally. Why should Earth keep you? Arya stepped forward. Because I am not a product, she said clearly. I am a person, a mother, a voice. She looked at Darren. I was sold, but I was never bought. I was saved, loved, given dignity again. Another judge asked, do you love this man? Arya did not pause. Double quotes, yes. And your children? They love him more than anyone in the stars. Sorel stood up, holding his drawing. He's my papa. The court was quiet. One final question came. If we let you stay, what will you give Earth? Arya smiled. Hope. After 2 hours, the ruling came. Arya of Viren, Sorel and Lyra are granted full Earth citizenship. Darren Cade is honored for bravery and compassion. The crowd outside cheered. It was done. The next morning, the family walked through the markets of Mars Station. People smiled at them. Some nodded in respect. Others took photos. A human child pointed at Arya and said, that's the brave alien mom. Arya laughed. Lyra tugged her arm. Mama, are we famous? No, she said. We're free. That night, in their home, Sorel fell asleep on Darren's chest. Lyra curled beside Arya. The lights were low. Darren looked at Arya. We've come a long way, she nodded. From chains. 2 stars. He held her hand. You don't have to say yes now, he said. But one day, I'd like to ask you something. She smiled. When you do, I might say yes. She stood, walked to the window, and stared out at the sky. Once, it had been a place of danger. Now, it was home. Not because of where she was, but because of who was with her. She whispered to herself. I was not born human, but humanity found me. I was not born free, but love freed me. She turned back to the room. Her family. Not blood, but stronger. Not bought, but chosen. Not slave, not alien. Family.